Look, can I start by just thanking everybody here in the room for coming to this very important and significant day here in Canberra, taking time out of your very busy and hectic schedules and making a contribution to what has been an incredibly important dialogue, which has taught us a lot and is going to really impact on the direction of future policy making here in Canberra as we do our best to bring about that layer of national leadership and coordination that no one but the federal government really can bring to a topic like this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of all of my colleagues here in the Federal Parliament and on behalf of the Environment Minister Susan Lee, who's temporarily held up right now, and including the Reef Envoy, Warren Ench, who's sitting in the front row, and the Prime Minister down. We all really, really appreciate it. And as I told a couple of the breakout groups through the course of today, don't let this be the end of the engagement and the collaboration. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of challenges, as we've just heard, that many of which need to be dealt with sort of simultaneously or alternatively. To the extent that we're prioritising things, we have to be so conscious that before markets are fully formed here, before we're really capturing that value proposition that we're looking for, policy making, if it involves interventions by government or other players, is going to lead to some flow-on consequences and impacts, up and down supply chains, impacts on consumers. So we're going to have to keep coming back together, continuing to engage so that we can measure those impacts and those changes and continue to tweak the policy settings that we have as we work towards those long-term solutions that we're all looking for. Can I also say a very big thank you to all of the people that have made pledges here today, including some very, very significant pledges by industry. The government's also made some announcements today, obviously, and I want to say thank you to the Prime Minister. There's been a lot of work go behind some of those announcements which were made today, and there's a lot more work going on in the background. But a very big thank you to all of the pledges. I understand we've received about 30 announcements today from a host of companies coming through in pledges as a result of the summit, including financial pledges well over that initial value that was announced by PACT of $500 million going forwards, and other pledges that, by our estimates, will divert over 1.6 million tonnes from landfill today. I think that's worth a round of applause, everybody. A big round of applause for everyone who's made some pledges here today. Some of the other major announcements from today include, obviously, that announcement by Nestle and IQ Renew, their commitment to trial curbside collection for soft plastics for about 100,000 homes, diverting approximately 750,000 tonnes of soft plastics from landfill. We had that announcement from McDonald's to phase out plastic cutlery and move to a fibre-based alternative by the end of this year, following their previous announcement to phase out plastic straws. And look, you know, there's a long list here and there's too many to mention them all, but we will do our best to showcase these through the government's channels, through the Department of Environment website and all of the other channels that we've got available to us, because good news like this does need to get out there. As we talked about in the first panel session, there's a big job to be done around education and awareness, and there's also a big job to be done around motivation and ensuring that Australians know there's good news out there that can motivate them to make the right decisions every single day when they decide what to put in each bin, to pick up that piece of litter, and so on. And I think it's fair for me to summarise a fair sense of encouragement that industry is adapting and changing its practices because they're hearing from their customers, consumers, the same people that we in this place called voters, the same message. And that is a message that's coming loud and clear from all corners of the community, including our youth here today, and I'll get to you in a moment, students, that it's time to change, that the moment is now. So thank you all for the summary of the discussions which were had in the different breakout sessions throughout the course of today. I think we all appreciate that there's a huge range of topics that have been covered, a lot of ambitious ideas, a lot of creativity. The reports that we've just heard from The roundtable facilitators provide a wealth of areas for action and a lot, really, for us to do in the weeks and the months and the years ahead. Can you please actually at this moment join with me in thanking the facilitators of the Passion? We really appreciate their extra efforts here today. It's also clear that there's a lot that government can do to lead the way. The National Waste Action Plan, which was settled by all of the governments around Australia, states, territories, local government and the federal government late last year, contains a number of very significant targets, milestones, responsibilities and funding commitments that can help to start to address many of the priorities and the issues that we've talked about today. There will be, in about 12 days' time, the next COAG meeting where the Prime Minister and the Premiers and the Chief Ministers of the territories will be coming together, and I'm sure that we'll be hearing at the end of that meeting, I think it's 11 days' time actually, about the next steps that they've been taking, hopefully very cooperatively and all together towards some of these important challenges. And the next group of people that we do have to thank, as I foreshadowed earlier, is all of the students who came along to be a big part of today and held a student summit down at Old Parliament House with His Excellency the Governor-General. Can everybody join with me in thanking the students for coming here to Canberra and being a part of it today? Thank you very much to the representative students for the gifts that you presented to me earlier. I'll be sure to pass those on to the Environment Minister, Susan Lee, and the Prime Minister after today's proceedings. Thank you to some of you in particular who are spearheading amazingly successful public campaigns to drive awareness and change, not just in your local communities, but right around Australia and indeed right around the globe. I receive a lot of letters from students and youngsters all around Australia every single day, and you won't be surprised to hear that I find myself handwriting "Keep up the passion" down underneath my responses and my signatures to a lot of those, and I really mean it. Please do keep up the passion, and you're a fantastic reminder here today with all of your passion and all of your brilliant ideas as to the future that we want to see here in Australia and what it is that we're fighting for. So thank you very, very much. In conclusion, I hope that today's summit does lead to further engagement and consultation between each of you as important stakeholders and experts and leaders in this area, and also in terms of an ongoing dialogue with myself and the Minister and this government. My door is always open. I do spend a lot of my time running around this country visiting tips and landfills and transfer stations and so on, as I say. I always want to hear from all of you because you are the experts with the knowledge in your heads about individual products, individual waste streams, individual challenges faced in particular regions and areas around Australia. So please keep that dialogue up, keep that engagement up. Thank you again, and on behalf of the Minister, the Prime Minister and the Government, thank you everyone.